G'day guys, Fitcho here and welcome back to my World Rallycross career mode here on Dirt 4. Today we're here for episode number 2 and we are heading to the birthplace of Rallycross. We are heading to Lydden Hill. Now if you guys did miss the first episode of this career mode, I'll put a little card in the top right corner of the screen and the link in the description. Make sure you do go check out all the action from Montalegre, especially if you're new to Rallycross, because I sort of explained how Rallycross works and how all the points work is in that episode as well. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on so you always know when the next episode of this series is coming out. But without further ado, let's head to England. So, for the first qualifying heat, yet again, we are starting on the outside in Group Number D with Rene Munich, Anton Markland, and Shishirit. Here we go, it is time for the first qualifying heat. And I thought we were meant to be starting on the outside, but it looks like somehow we have ended up on the inside. I was originally planning on diving to the Joker that you can see off to the left down at turn 1, but I think I'm going to have to stick to the main track now, and it is green, and we have got an absolutely shocking start. Shishirit is already crossed in front of us. We head down into turn number 1. Can I try to get back up the inside of the Mini? No, I cannot, but a really nice run off turn number 1 as we now make the transition on to the asphalt and down into this left-hander, and we are back up into the lead of this first qualifying heat. Now we're just going to make sure he doesn't come back at us, get our head down, and just try to set some good laps and try to get in the best time we possibly can. Right, final lap, we're going to dive down into the Joker. This is quite a tricky Joker. We've gone in way too deep. And we've got to flick it back and over the jump, and we rejoin, and even with that bad Joker, we do manage to hold on to the lead. Hopefully, we haven't lost too much time with that shoddy Joker, and we can still be on for a good time here in Q1. Through the final corner we go, and across the line to win our race with a time of 2:45.1, and I don't know if that's going to be enough to win Q1. We're about to find out. Here we go. It is not quite. We get second. Who has beaten us? Who's it going to be? Andreas Backrud has beaten us by 6 seconds, or 5.5 seconds to be exact. Bloody hell, he set a very quick time here at Lydden Hill, Backrud. That is a stonking time, bloody hell, and I was almost 4 seconds, just under 4 seconds ahead of Balmanis in 3rd place, so a very interesting Q1 to say the least. Right, for Q2, we are in race number 1 with Backrud, Balmanis, and Rene Munich. Here we go, qualifying heat number 2. We are on the grid, and again, it looks like pole is actually on the outside, which does kind of surprise me. So we are the second car from the outside, and we are ready to race. And we're green in Lydden Hill, and Backrud has got a much better start than us off the line. He is going into the Joker, and I think I might just follow him as I am getting very sideways coming into that Joker, and somehow I kept that car going roughly enough in the right direction. I didn't spin it completely. That was a very interesting Joker. I got very sideways. I did say in the first episode that I have tested all the different supercars here on Dirt 4 for World Rallycross, and this DS3 was by far probably the craziest one in terms of how the car behaves. Right, it looks like Rene Munich is struggling a bit. Backrud has already passed him, and can we send it up? Is inside down into Paddock Bend. A little bit of contact with that seat. Shit, I missed the corner in the dust, but he's thankfully gone out into the Joker. It's very hard coming through those that final little chicane, trying to judge the turning point, because if you turn in too early and clip the big curb on the left, you will be popped up onto 2 wheels really badly, and then add a little bit of dust in, and it's really hard to pick it out. And it looks like Balmanis has actually jokered and rejoined in front of us, which is not what we want. This qualifying 2 is not going how we wanted it to go. Through the final corner and across the line, a time of 2:45.9, which I think is similar to what I did in qualifying 1, but we're behind 2 cars this time, and the race didn't quite go as we wanted, and we're all the way down in 9th place in Q2, which is really not what we want. But Backrud has gone and won that again, so that is 2 from 2 for Backrud, Loeb, and Nitish, the top 3. So, after the first 2 qualifying heats, we are sitting in second place. Backrud has taken both Q1 and Q2, so he is sitting in first quite comfortably with 100 points. But I'm equal on points with Nitish, Loeb, and Balmanis. Then you got Kevin Hansen, only 2 points behind as well with the qualifying heat points. So it's very, very close right now at the pointy end of the field. And it looks like Timmy Hansen is all the way down in 10th place. He's only just in. And Johan Kristoffersen is currently sitting in last place with 59 points. And Petter Solberg is in the last place that actually goes through into the semi-finals. So this is a very interesting first 2 qualifying heats here at Lydden Hill. Right, for qualifying 3, we are on pole position in race number C with Timozyanov, Janey, and Kevin Eriksson. I believe this does mean we're starting on the outside of the 4 abreast start, so it does make sense for us to dive straight into the Joker on lap number 1, I think. Here we go, time for Q3, and I was correct. We are on the very outside despite being pole position. I would have thought that would be the inside here at Lydden Hill, but nonetheless, I think we're going to be diving off into the Joker here at the very start. And we are green. Hasn't been the best start in the world. Timozyanov getting a better launch than us, and he is not joining us in the Joker. Oh, I've backed it in. No. This is very, very bad. A quick flick spin there. It's a very tricky Joker here at Lydden Hill, and we have really cocked that up, spinning it into the Joker, and we're going to be coming dead last here in qualifying 3. I do believe that has really not gone to plan. Oh, yeah, qualifying 3, it's a disaster. I said you have to be careful of that big curb. That's why. I've just turned in a tiny bit too early to that last chicane, let's say, and I'm rolled. I've hit it that high, I've gone sky high, and I'm over and on my roof. That's this qualifying race, absolutely done. Let's at least get it to the finish, make sure we do get some qualifying points. We also have a 10-second penalty, I believe, because I did need my vehicle recovered. This race is just going from bad to worse. Another mistake I've got a steward's inquiry for corner cutting. I don't think I really gained an advantage from that. I was spinning round and round, and this heat is an absolute write-off. I'm struggling in this DS3 right now. Like I've been saying, it's probably the craziest car, especially the most taily car out of any of the World RX Supercars on this game. And I am really struggling to control it here at Lydden Hill, more so than I was at Montalegre. Only a couple corners left to go in this qualifying heat, and we can put this race behind us, put us out of our misery through Paddock Bend, back into the chicane, getting very, very sideways. There we go, a 3:24. That's half a minute slower, I think, than what we... And a time penalty for exceeding track limits as well. Heat results, yeah. We are in 16th place, 3:24 plus 20 seconds worth of penalties. I don't even know if that's already been added. It probably has. It's still an absolute disaster for us. Who has won? Petter Solberg has won, so that's definitely going to help him after he was struggling. Where Backrud is only managed 12th in that, so I'm not too sure what has happened to Backrud. He won Q1 and Q2, but he couldn't quite convert that into a win in Q3. He's only done 12th. That's surprising. Yikes, that race has really, really hurt us. We've dropped all the way down to 8th place in the qualifying points at the moment. And with that win, Petter Solberg has jumped from 12th all the way up to 3rd, but as Backrud still leading the way. And who is currently in the drop zone? Both Timmy Hansen, the winner in Montalegre, and Johan Kristoffersen are currently in the drop zone. That is very, very interesting. Only one qualifying race left to go. Right, thanks to our little mishap in Q3, we are starting last in the slowest race, theoretically, in Q4. That said, we are joined by Johan Kristoffersen. So, I'm not too sure this is actually the slowest race, really. Theoretically it is, but Christopherson is in my race, so it can't be that slow. And Nitish and Kevin Hansen are also there. They're both fairly quick guys, at least Kevin Hansen is as well. So this could be an interesting race, but theoretically, we are technically last in this race, but that means we're actually on the inside, so we're actually in the best place to be starting. We should be able to get down into turn 1 first. Here we go, final race in qualifying Q4, an absolute disaster in Q3, and hopefully we can bounce back from that. Grab the handbrake, revs are up, we are ready to race here at Lydden Hill. And we are green. Not that long a hold by this game stands, and we have not had the start that we wanted. Kevin Hansen getting the jump on us, but down into turn number 1. We're going to sneak up his inside, but not quite close enough. And now on the exit, we get much better drive than the young Sweden. I think we are past him down into Devil's Elbow, although we have gotten very, very wide. It doesn't look like he has come back at us, and we have gotten out into the lead. And it looks like Rainis Nitish actually dived off into the Joker there on the first lap, and Christopherson has actually just gotten past Kevin. I'm just looking at the spotter prediction. It keeps flicking between first and second. It looks like Christopherson is now gone for the Joker. I could hear him breathing down my neck. He was that close. I could hear his bloody engine. And Kevin Hansen has also gone for the Joker. And Nitish has come out ahead of Christopherson. So we are going to be in a very interesting spot after our Jokers. We go a little bit too deep up at the hairpin. It's going to be a struggle to get out in front of Nitish. And then we also have Christopherson, who was right on our gearbox. So this could get very, very interesting. Nicely through this final chicane. Now we dive down into the Joker, trying to keep this DS3 under control. A little bit too sideways. There goes Nitish. We're gonna go, oh no, we've hit the Armco barrier on the jump. Where is Christopherson? There's Christopherson. If I didn't make that slight mistake, I might have just been ahead of Johan. Down into Devil's Elbow we go. I don't need to worry too much about fighting him, but I do want to get the best time I possibly can, and I guess just beat him on track for the sake of beating him on track. But we weren't quite close enough to send anything up the inside of the hairpin. Down to paddock bend, and oh, we've gone way too wide. There's nothing we can do about it now. Through the final corner, let's just get across the line and finish this heat. A 2:44.9, so still quicker than what we did manage in all the other qualifying races, I do believe. But we were behind 2 other cars, and that nets us a result of 5th in Q4. Markland actually taking victory here in Q4. Nitish in second, Backroad, Christopherson, then myself. So, how does that set things up at the end of qualifying? Backroad does end up with top qualifying. Nitish there in second with Balmanis. So 2 Latvians doing very, very well there. Petter Solberg there in 4th. Myself 5th. Gronholm, Janie Markland, Shisharit, Timmy Hansen, Sebastian Loeb, and Kevin Hansen, the last driver to get through. So the 2 Hansen brothers and Sebastian Loeb, the 3 Peugeots, only just scraping through in 10th, 11th, and 12th. And Christopherson is out. Christopherson has gone out here in the qualifying stages in Lydden Hill. If that happened in real life, hell would be freezing over, honestly. That is absolutely crazy. Rene Munich, Timur Timizyanov, and Kevin Eriksson join him on the way out. It looks like Kevin Eriksson, despite doing alright in some of the earlier races, actually got absolutely no points in Q4, so that have really, really hurt him. It is time for the semi-finals, and here are how the grids line up. I am in semi-final 1, starting on row number 2 in 3rd place. Backroad and Balmanis are on the front row in front of us. Janie alongside us on the second row. Shisharit and Loeb on the final row. 3 Frenchmen there in the last 3 places in semi-final 1. Then looking at semi-final number 2, Rainis Nitish and Petter Solberg on the front row of the grid. Gronholm and Markland on the second row of the grid. Then the 2 Hansen brothers on the final row of the grid. This is going to be very, very interesting. No longer thinking about the clock. It is all about position. Top 3 from each semi-final go through to the final. Here we go, we are getting to the business end of the weekend. We're on the grid for semi-final number 1. We've got Backroad and Balmanis just in front of us. We are ready to race. And we're green in Lydden Hill. We are underway. Hasn't been the best start in the world. Janie has got a good start from alongside us on the grid. Is now down into turn number 1. Just a whole lot of dust being kicked up in front of us. We just clipped the back of Janie coming out of turn number 1, but a very nice run. We're heading to the outside of the Peugeot. Is now down into Devil's Elbow. Let's try around the outside, and I think we have just about gotten past the Peugeot. Up into third places now. We have Yannis Balmanis in front of him, front of us, but up the inside at the hairpin we go, and we have made that move stick all the way up into second place. Now we just have Andreas Backerud to worry about through Paddock Bend, and now through the chicane for the first of 6 times in today's race. We're going to stay on the normal lap for now. I don't want a joker just yet. I'm just going to keep an eye on what everyone else is doing for now, but it looks like we're already starting to lose touch with Backerud, who is seriously quick here at Lydden Hill this weekend. Right, Janie and Shisharit have gone in to the joker, but my spotter prediction is still saying second, which is where we currently are. So we're just going to keep going on the normal lap. Right, Sebastian Loeb has also gone into the joker. My prediction is still saying second, so I think for now we still stay on the normal lap as we're about to end lap 3 of 6 here in this semi-final. There goes Backerud into the joker just in front of us. Is he actually going to come out in front of us? No, he is not. We just rejoin in front of Backerud, but that doesn't really matter because we still have to do our joker on the final lap, and it looks like Balmanis has also gone into the joker, but it looks like he might have been jumped by Sebastian Loeb, and he was breathing down our neck. So this could get very interesting. We need to keep this joker so clean. It's going to be a very close rejoin with Balmanis and Sebastian Loeb, I do believe, through Paddock Bend for the second last time. We're going to flick through the chicane, then we're going to dive off down into the joker. Now we need to keep this very clean, which is really tricky at this Lydden Hill joker. Back in. Oh no, we've clipped the wall. Now over the jump. Where are we going to rejoin? We are in second ahead of Sebastian Loeb, thank God. And we should be safe now to make it through all the way into the final. I panicked a little bit there in the joker, but I think we are okay. Balmanis must have had a messy joker to fall behind Sebastian Loeb. Through the chicane and up over the line. There we go, second place in our semi-final. That nets us a nice starting position in the final, in the middle of the field. I will take that. Thank you very much. Let's just have a look at the race results. So Backerud, myself, and Sebastian Loeb go through from semi-final 1. Kevin Hansen has won semi-final number 2 with Petter Solberg and Gronholm going through. Kevin Hansen, I'm fairly sure he started in 6th place, last place in his semi-final, and he has actually gone and won it and netted himself a spot on the front row of the grid for the final. A very impressive drive there from Kevin Hansen, but eliminated in these semi-finals is Yannis Balmanis, Janie, and Shisharit from my semi, and from the other one, Rainis Nitish, Timmy Hansen, and Anton Marklund. So here is the starting grid for the final here at Lydden Hill. The front row consisting of Andreas Backerud and Kevin Hansen, Petter Solberg, and myself on the second row of the grid, then Niklas Gronholm and Sebastian Loeb on the final row of the grid. Here we go, we're on the grid for the final. Starting on the outside of the second row, we might just think of a lap 1 joker. It depends whatever Loeb does behind us to our left in terms of his start, but we're ready to race. And we're green for the final here at Lydden Hill. It's been a decent start from ourselves, and I think we are going to dive down into the joker. Let's just try to keep this nice and under control, which I haven't really done, but nowhere near as bad as our disaster in Q3. I think I saved that pretty well, considering how downhill it felt like things were going. I thought I was going for a complete spin. It looks like we're the only one to go into the joker, and right now our spotter prediction is all the way up into second place. While these guys fight it out on the first lap, I can catch them while they are squabbling. Then they still have to pull off the joker. It looks like Backerud is already starting to get away at the front, so I don't think the win is going to be possible here in Lydden Hill. Backerud has just been so damn fast, but a podium still on the cards, I do think. Kevin Hansen and Gronholm going at it just in front of us. We might be able to capitalize on their squabble as we come up to the hairpin, but we don't have really anywhere to go, and this could just hurt us being caught up in these guys' squabble, because these guys haven't joked. We aren't really fighting them. Like, oh no, no, I panicked for a second, and now we've lost a lot of time. Both of them straight off into the Joker, exactly what I wanted, and now I can try to get my head back down. We have Petter Solberg and Sebastian Loeb, and right now my spotter prediction is swapping between 4th and 3rd, so that one moment there right at the end of that previous lap with those two squabbling that we've gone very wide really has hurt us in this final. Now we really need to push it from here if we want to get up onto the podium. Right now it is saying 4th. Right, there they go, both of them are off into the Joker now as we are down into turn number 1. Where are they going to rejoin? There is Sebastian Loeb just in front of us, and I think we have come out ahead of Petter Solberg. We just have over 1 lap to go, and we are up into a podium place. I can't actually look behind. I don't have a button map for that, so I really don't know just how close Petter Solberg is to us right now, but I feel like I can hear him breathing down our neck, and I think we have to be very, very cautious as we start the final lap of this final here at almost cocking up that first corner and hitting the tyre barrier, doing everything we can to try to reel in Loeb a little bit while we also try to stay ahead of Petter Solberg through Devil's Elbow for the final time in this event. Only a handful of corners left for us to navigate up towards a hairpin. We're definitely not going to be close enough to challenge Sebastian Loeb for 2nd place, but nonetheless we should be able to bring home a podium here at Lydden Hill. A little bit wide there through Paddock Bend, through the final corner and across the line in 3rd place. There you can see Petter Solberg was really not too far behind us. We managed to hold on and get 3rd place. Considering where we started, I will take that result definitely. So here are the final results. Andreas Backerud has won here at Lydden Hill. Sebastian Loeb and myself join him on the podium. My first podium of the season. In fact, this could be the first podium for everyone standing atop the podium. Let me just have a quick look at last round's results. Yes, it is indeed a first podium for everyone standing atop the podium right now, which is quite funny. In the second round of this season, it just shows it's going to be a very tightly contested season, only 5 rounds, and we've had 6 different people stand atop the podium after only 2 events, and then we have Petter Solberg just missing out on the podium there, Kevin Hansen and Niklas Gronholm finishing last in today's final. So that brings us to the end of today's round. Next up, we head to Hell in Norway. I love the name of the place, and I absolutely love the circuit. It is such a great track, Hell. A lot of undulation change there as well, just to spice things up, and I'm definitely looking forward to that round of the championship. If you guys have enjoyed today's episode, make sure you do leave a big like on the video. It really does help me out, and of course subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you haven't already done so, to make sure you know whenever this series comes out, along with all my other motorsport related gaming content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.